You look beautiful.
Thank you. I can't see. It's all like dark on my screen.
Hello, ladies and germs. Welcome to the No Dick Pics podcast. I'm Max.
I'm Christina.
Episode 2, Season
Well,
2.
episode
Boom.
29
Double
of all of
deuce.
them. Yeah. So, how have you been?
I'm good. I was part of the Gaily Deuce clan.
What is that?
So Gallagher, second floor of St. Joseph's College. The college doesn't exist anymore, but we call ourselves Gaily Deuce. Pretty cool.
Okay, so it's just a college thing?
Yeah, Gaily Deuce.
Okay.
It's because it was so small, you didn't have fraternities or anything. So the dorms were kind of like the fraternities, and you were, kind of fit in, and so we were Gaily Deuce.
Oh, good story.
I was actually on a because every year, so Indiana loves like race car driving, like the Indy 500. So we had a thing called the Little Five. It's just like these little go karts going around. It's the biggest drinking week and
Oh, no.
weekend of the year, and
That
so
sounds like a
we
bad combination.
and so we would have shirts, right? You would have your dorm shirts, and then the one year I think after I left, they put me on the shirt like 10 things about Gaily Deuce, and one was called the Peach. Because when I was drunk one time, I lifted up my shirt. I'm like, look, it's like a giant peach. So they nicknamed me the Peach. Wonder why I got kicked out of college.
I don't know.
Yeah. So
It took you a while to tell me that story too, because I don't like peaches. But it's not that I don't like you. I just don't like the.
yeah,
It's a drunk story.
you
I
know,
fell
I
out of
don't
a
I
moving
don't taste
car.
like I don't taste like peach.
You don't. So we're good.
Yeah. So it was so off topic, but just
Yeah.
had to say it.
Where are you going with this? So we are officially on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. It's No Dick
Cool.
Pics Podcast.
3
So you can
subscribers.
4.
4.
Ooh. So or it was 4 plays. It might have been 4
Quattro
plays.
subscribers.
Yeah. So subscribe to us, please. Please give us a thumbs up on YouTube, and then on all the other podcast channels, please rate us and leave us good reviews, please. But yeah, we're on Apple, we're on iHeartRadio, we're on Spotify, we're on Amazon Music, we're on a bunch of things. So everyone should be able to find us now. Not just Spotify, we're everywhere. So check us out on
everywhere.
But yeah, so I've been busy this week.
Doing what?
Podcast stuff, getting us on
I
all
wasn't
the
sure.
things.
You said I was
Yeah.
busy this week. I don't know if that was like something else or.
You know I wasn't busy doing anything else because you live with me.
That's true.
Yeah.
I was wondering why you didn't go home.
I am home.
Remember what Joe Dirt said?
Stop. What?
Home is where the heart is.
Is that
Joe
all?
Dirt, the blonde, was like, Joe, this was your home all along. Don't you remember? Home is where the heart is.
I thought you were going to say something worse. I didn't remember
No,
exactly
Joe
how
Dirt.
that went.
Hey, oh, there's so many. Joe
I
Dirt's
know.
great movie.
A little worried about where you're going to go with that. So I heard a new term, netcasting.
Oh, yeah.
So I had never heard that when it came to dating before. And someone had posted in one of the groups that we're in, what is something that instantly turns you off about the opposite sex? And one woman said, when men netscape or netcast, whatever.
Netscape. You're too young to remember Netscape.
I remember Netscape. But like, she said netcasting. And I'm like, what does that mean? And so she explains it. It's when guys typically will go after a bunch of girls and they don't care which one.
I know. It makes sense if you think about it.
Right. They don't care which girl they end up with. They just hope for anyone. And the problem with that is it doesn't make you feel special. You don't feel like sought after. You don't feel like this guy is really into you. You just feel like you're the only one that said yes. And so it's like, well, first of all, why? So like when you're just generally asking, will anyone go out with me? That doesn't, who's going to respond? Well, someone did, but like, who's going to respond to that? That's like, I don't know. Like, I would never, even if the guy was cute, I would be like, no. I mean, first of all, I don't date because I have a cute boyfriend.
He's very lucky.
Yeah. But also, like,
we
even
should
if
have
I
him
was
on the
single,
show.
totally great idea. But like, even if I was single and the guy said that and he was cute and someone that I might have been interested in, that alone would have been like, no, no, thank you. Because he doesn't care who he's meeting. He just wants to meet anybody. And that doesn't make you feel special. That doesn't make you feel like someone wants you.
He should just
They
go on
just
a
want
dating app.
anybody.
Because then you get people.
I don't think everyone gets people. There's a few people on there who said that nobody ever swipes back. And I'm like, ooh, that's rough.
I mean, it's nothing like your experience, but like I would get ones here and there. I mean, nothing.
It's because you're cute.
I guess. I was like,
You
I'm
got
sick.
me.
Like I'm a 6'6" tatted motherfucker.
Your profile is really cute. You said something about like being goofy and like having someone to be goofy with, or I remember that part because I was like, oh, well, I'm a very unserious person. And we are a good match. So look at that.
No, I wanted goofy. Like,
what? What does that mean?
Well, who's Goofy?
Like the character?
Mickey Mouse, yeah. I was into cosplay. I wanted Goofy.
Sorry, I read that wrong. Wow.
Cosplay is so amazing to me. I'm just like people dress. It's just like.
Are you actually into it?
No, I just think it's funny.
I was gonna say I didn't think so.
Someone brought up furries like a couple weeks ago at work, and I don't think someone actually didn't know what it meant. What actual furries is, and yeah, pretty funny stuff. Two mascots just going at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, whatever. I'm never gonna yuck someone else's yum. I don't know that I see the appeal in it.
What did you just say?
Yuck someone else's yum. I've said that before.
Down on the farm.
No.
Bob Evans.
That's
like,
not...
What is that? Someone's yuck?
You don't want to yuck someone's yum.
I've never heard that.
That's a yum to someone, like it's something they're into. I'm not, but I don't want to yuck their yum. You've never heard me say that. I've said that on the show before.
No, I don't think so.
I think I have.
Please
I edited it.
Strike that from the record.
You don't like it?
No.
No? Okay, what should I say instead?
I don't want to shit on someone's parade.
No, I don't want to do that either, but yeah.
I don't know whose parade you'd want to shit on, right?
I don't want to shit on anyone's parade.
The Cleveland Steamroller, no?
No, okay. So the amount of like shit-related things in Urban Dictionary when it comes to like sexual acts you've never heard of, why do they all involve shit?
I don't know. Messy.
I don't want to do that. That's not something I'm into. So
I don't know if I could physically could do that. Like I'm
glad.
You're not.
Thank you.
I don't think you're programmed to like, hey, go shit on this person.
No, and please don't. I don't want that. That doesn't do it for me. That would be my ick.
The hot Carl's your ick?
Yeah. So like nothing you've done in the year that I've known you has turned me off in any way, which is kind of funny because you've done some things, and I don't know, something about you. I don't get grossed out by you. Nothing you do like.
Even when I broke up with you, wasn't an ick.
That wasn't great. I did love it, but I mean, I stuck around, so obviously it wasn't that big of an ick.
I think you're camping outside.
I was not camping. Stop making me sound so desperate. I was not. You wanted me here. You didn't want me to leave, and you kept saying, it's weird, I'm not sick of you yet. Still not sick of me?
No.
No?
I'm not going to yuck on your yum.
Do you really not like that saying?
I mean, whatever floats your boat, but I wouldn't use that, me personally.
Okay.
I'll use it at work tomorrow and see how many looks I get.
You know what it means, though, right?
They'll be like, what the fuck?
It's usually in reference to kinks. Like, you don't want to yuck someone else's yum.
Transition.
Yeah.
To another topic.
What do you think about net casting? Have you ever done that? Have you ever just been like, "Will anyone go out with me?"
I
When
guess you would do
you're
that on a dating app. You're
Yeah,
just
when
like,
you're talking to, like, a bunch of people and you're just hoping one of them works out.
yeah, then I've done it, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know that it's necessarily the same thing, 'cause I guess
It's not,
I did
'cause
the
you're
same thing, but I was interested in all the people I was matching with. It wasn't like I was just like anybody. It was like I could maybe I'm so there's something about this person that I'm interested in.
you're just trying to get a response and something.
So explain your thought process as a guy when you're not now. Don't do it now because you're committed. No, stop it. When you were single, what was your thought process when you're swiping? Like, what made you swipe right on someone, or did you swipe right on everyone? Were you one of those
No,
people?
like, they had to have a certain look that I was attracted to,
Mm-hmm.
and then distance was a big part too. And I don't know, it just seemed like, I don't know, like, oh, they look cool, yeah, boom, boom. Because I think I did Hinge,
Mm-hmm.
so Hinge wasn't like Tinder or Bumble where it's like you didn't get as much matches, but I
Did
would
you only do one app at a time?
no, like I always had Hinge,
Mm-hmm.
and then like after a while I was like, I'm not doing the paid, so I did the free one where you get like 5 or 10 likes a day or something. Then
Oh, I didn't know there was a limit because I never liked anyone.
and then every now and then I'll give Bumble a shot. I'd do a week of Bumble. I'd just do it a week. I'd pay for it for a week, and then that's it. Sometimes I'd match with people. Sometimes I want it. Sometimes I'd even go to the dark side and do Tinder.
Mm-hmm.
I actually enjoyed it. I mean, yeah,
I didn't understand it.
there's a lot of craziness out there, but you still like, yeah, I matched with a couple people. I mean, and then
I didn't know
like
how to use it, so I
I
didn't.
would use it for like a week, but I always had Hinge. I never heard of Facebook dating, so I didn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did Match for like a week. I was just bored. I told you I was just like I would get bored of like it'll be fun because it's like you get to talk to people and interact and stuff. So I was like I need some. So yeah, I didn't
And
do
then
a
you found
ton.
me.
It would be crazy though. So sometimes when like you would try a different app, you'd see the same people on it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I
There's a lot
did.
of them, or there would be some that like you saw like 2 years ago.
I wasn't on it.
I think a lot of people don't delete theirs either.
Yeah, I wasn't on it long enough to see people from
Like I
years.
said, I think the most normal people, not normal. I think the ones I thought I had connections with, obviously didn't, but I had better luck on Hinge than anything else.
You had the
And
best luck on Match.
well, I know before that, I always struck on a match, and then like when I first like got divorced, I tried a bunch of other sites that were just terrible. I tried some weird ones, man. I mean, you never did them before, so
Yeah.
uh,
I actually met the most people on Facebook dating. That's where I met Jared. And then I
I
went it wasn't working out, obviously. And so my friends were like, you need to try other dating sites.
I
So
tried that coffee and bagel,
yeah, I
and
didn't even hear about that after we started the
I
podcast.
heard something about it, and they're like, "Oh, it's good." So I gave it a shot, but it's like, again, like you think like, "Oh, it's." There was so many scams on there.
Yeah.
I actually met someone on there, Puzzle Girl.
Okay, there we
She
go.
loved puzzles.
Yeah.
So Puzzle Girl, and I was starting to date Puzzle Girl, and then I started dating Bipolar Vacation Girl.
Yeah.
So it was Puzzle Girl and Bipolar Vacation Girl. And like I always talked about is like I went for Vacation Girl. I don't know, she just like I went after like looks more than like what I was interested in. And
Mhm.
I kind of, I kind of think back like, oh, both weren't going to work obviously, but I just thought,
Obviously.
yeah.
But like so you say that like you went for looks instead of what you were looking for. Did you not find Puzzle Girl attractive? Like
She
why
was
did you
just
match with her?
I don't know. I was just kind of bored, and we matched, and she was pretty close, and we had fun and stuff. But yeah, I think Vacation Girl. I don't know. It was just different. I was kind of curious, and I mean, I guess when I first met her, I thought she was really beautiful, and then like later on, I was like, yeah, not so beautiful. But hey, whatever floats your boat. But I
Well, I
mean,
mean, personality and the way people treat
right,
others
right.
makes a big difference
We would
on
fight
how
a
attracted you are
Yeah,
to them.
we fought a lot. It was crazy. She would be so up and down.
That
why I think
is crazy because you're not a big fighter. Because
right.
I mean, I was talking to your ex-wife about this. Is weird. I don't know if it's weird or not, but I was talking to her ex-wife about it, and I'm like, yeah, we don't fight ever. She's like, yeah, we didn't really either. And I was like, huh. I thought I was special, but apparently you're just not a big fighter.
No.
Yeah. That's also nice for us,
Well, my
though.
ex-wife enjoyed when we fought because I got so pissed. I would end up doing all the chores, all the laundry and stuff,
You
an
angry clean?
yeah, angry clean, angry laundry. So she probably enjoyed it. All right, he's gonna get shit. He's gonna get shit done.
Oh, nice. There's that clip from
Get
Ali Wong. From Ali Wong's. Can I talk?
No, I was gonna say that was Larry the Cable Guy, right? Get her done.
Yeah.
Or was that Ron White? I don't know.
I don't know, but there's the Ali Wong special where she talks about her divorce, and it's so funny. But she talks about how she likes her men pre-seasoned, pre-yelled at, and their ex-wives are her seafood. So I have a lot of respect. Thanks for breaking them in for me. You're pretty well trained, so it took a while to train my ex-husband. I think it was at 7 years. I was like, okay. It's hard. It takes a lot of time. But this is why you date divorced men, because they're pre-trained, right?
I mean, that's all I dated were divorced women because at that age group, I mean,
well, yeah,
there was only one that had never been married.
Which one wasn't married?
We'll call her publishing girl.
That was the one that you dated and broke up with over COVID yeah. And then dated again?
Things can change, but it just didn't, yeah.
So is that really, what made you, hesitant with me because you had done it before?
No. I just, and after I was done, after I stopped dating her, I think I took 6 or 7 months off, just no.
So what made you hesitant to, make it official with me, the second time?
The second time? I don't know, I mean, you had already moved in, so it's kind of we don't have much of a choice, right?
I mean, I think we were pretty much definitely already together before I moved in. There was a point pretty early on that we were we're exclusive. So we're exclusive friends with benefits. And then there was a point where it just kind of just became more. And I don't know. I don't know when it was. I have no idea.
I think I got off the apps it was after your birthday because I remember when we were with Ryan and Kathy and you're he's still on the apps. You were he's still on the apps.
I was very drunk.
Yeah. So I think I got off the apps July, or I don't know.
Was that my birthday present?
No, your birthday present is I got you home in one piece.
Yeah. That was a fun day, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, and then you passed out on the couch.
And you got an evening to yourself. Be one of the last ever.
For a couple hours, yeah.
Yeah.
And then 4th of July was just like that too. Came home passed out.
Well, my birthday was after 4th of July, so this was back-to-back weekends of Christina getting blackout. I had a fun July.
And now we're sober January. I don't like the term dry. Because that reminds me of a drink.
But dry you're doing martini. It. Tomorrow is the last day of January. By the time this airs, by the time this airs, it will be February, and we'll be drunk. I'm just kidding. Because you want to see how long you can go, right?
I'm just curious, yeah.
That's fun. I'm going to play a story. If you guys want to send us some stories, we'd love to hear them. Send me a voice memo through Facebook Messenger or a video or whatever. Just tell us your stories. Or if you don't want to tell us the story, you just want to write it out, write it to us and we'll read it for you. So this is Jennifer. This is a crazy story. I'm just going to warn you. I told her when she told me, I said, there's a 10 out of 10 chance we air this.
Okay, so the absolute worst first date I ever went on, I was set up by my hairdresser. She told me that this guy was like really interested, wanting to find somebody to date, for a relationship. And she was very desperate to set us up on a first date. And he was interested and wanted to go on a first date that night. So I was like, okay, sure, let's do this. He comes to my house and he picks me up. And as soon as I get in the car, he says to me, "You're the first Anglo-Saxon that I've ever been on a date with." And so I was like, okay. I mean, that's generally not a term you hear every day. And so as we're driving down the road, I look down and I see that he has a driver's license like sitting in his console, and I pick it up and it says the name Jason Smith with clearly a white guy on the picture. And I'm like, whose ID is this? And he's like, it's my ID. And I was like, okay, well, this picture looks nothing like you, and you've already told me your name is Aldon. So why does your driver's license say that your name is Jason Smith? Well, he just kind of kept dismissing me. So we go to Applebees, and like he starts ordering shots like right away, like shot, shot, shot. And I'm just kind of sitting there, like, drinking my little, like, I don't know, mojito or something, and eating my, like cheese fries. And of course, I do the whole fake phone call to my daughter to come, like, say, like, there's an emergency at home and I've got to go home. So as soon as we, like, hit the parking lot, this guy starts, like, groping me all up and down and, like, tickling me. And I'm like, no, sir, like, we're not doing this. Like, get off me, get off me. And so I'm basically slapping him at this point. And at the same time, I'm super concerned because he's like been drinking like shots and he's about to drive me home, but I don't know what kind of car he's driving. So I don't want to like offer to drive. So we finally get back to my house and I like take off running into the front door. Okay. So I get into the house and I'm like, my daughter's inside with her best friend. My daughter's 14 at the time. And so we're sitting there and I'm like trying to like about to recap like this horrible experience. And about that time, the front door opens and it's Aldon. And he starts going, "Jennifer, I'm gonna come tickle you." So this is like going on like for a long period of time where I'm like at the door and I'm like pushing him out of my house. I'm like, no, Aldon, no, Aldon. No, he pushes his way all the way into my house. So my daughter and her friend are like laughing hysterically because this is just so funny to them that I'm like getting tickled by Aldon. But meanwhile, I'm like, no, Aldon has got to go. I'm like, so we all three of us, like me and two 14-year-old girls are like picking up this drunk guy and we like throw him out the front porch. Well, apparently he didn't make it too far because the next morning we found him drunk out in our ditch of our house. Okay, so I called a neighbor to go get him up and tell him he needs to go home. Well, then I found out later on that he's actually friends with one of my coworkers. He's like really good friends with his husband, and of course he does not have American citizenship. His name was not Jason Smith, and but Aldon found out that I was friends with them. So he starts like stalking me and telling them things like that maybe he came on too strong on the first date, but he didn't understand why I wouldn't return his phone call. This goes on for like 6 months. Aldon is driving by my house and yelling, "Jesus, come see me," out the window. So yeah, no, bar none. I mean, I could go into more detail about the whole stalking of Aldon, but yeah, like hands down, worst first date ever.
Yeah. That's assault.
So first, I'm going to say any guy that takes you to Applebee's for first date, like just walk out the door. Like, come on.
Where is there an Applebee's anyway?
Eldon.
So that's assault. That's not okay.
Second of all, like, why isn't your door locked? Like, if you run from the car, you run in the house, you lock that door.
Yeah. I probably would have called the police. I don't know.
First of all, the minute she gets in and like you're the first what'd she call it?
Anglo-Saxon.
Anglo-Saxon. I would have been like, "What the fuck? I'm out." Like
just on that alone,
yeah.
You're like,
I'm
good.
Who says that?
Yeah. I don't know. I think the fake ID it was a red flag. I think a lot of it. Yeah, and he just got like shit-faced.
Eldon. Mm-hmm. I just love that name. Eldon.
Yeah. So like there's some lessons here. One, meet at the place you're gonna have your first date at, so you can leave on your own, and this person doesn't know where you live. It doesn't matter.
Doing shots at Applebee's like
You've
that.
Been through some shit.
Yeah.
But like,
John, lover and friend.
I think typically not giving out your actual number, using a Google Voice number, and meeting at a public location for your first date is usually a good move. And then you can leave on your own, and you're not stuck there with a drunk guy with a fake ID.
So what's going through my head is like, not thinking about the date. Now I'm thinking, so I wonder what kind of shots he was ordering at Applebee's.
I can ask her for more details.
Right. I want to know what kind of shots, and then
But yeah, definitely not okay. Not okay to touch a woman when she does not want you to touch her.
I'm going to tickle you like that.
Even if it's tickling, that's weird.
That's fucking beyond weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he stalked her for 6 months.
Like almost like Elmo want to tickle you.
I know. But yeah,
I would have called the cops like once.
When I woke up and he was still there, I would have been like, "All right, we're gonna get the police involved."
That's crazy.
So yeah, wild story. A lot of lessons to be learned about being safe.
So I would be like, whoever set me up, be like, "What the fuck is that?"
I know. That's a question to ask her too. Like, what's going on with your hairdresser that she was so desperate to say? Maybe he was stalking her, and she's like, "Let me pawn her off on one of my clients." That seems like a bad idea. I don't know that I would do that.
That was awful.
Yeah, terrible. A lot of bad things are happening in this story. That's assault. 2, he broke it. Is that breaking in and entering if they just walk into your house without permission? Isn't that?
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then he's like staying on your property, passed out in your ditch, like, and then he starts stalking. So there's a lot of things wrong here.
So he had that much to drink. He was shit-faced,
mm-hmm.
and then he drove her home.
Yeah, that's not great. So I don't know where this is, but
Eldon is in a prison somewhere.
Eldon belongs in prison, for sure. So hopefully he is. I don't know the details. She said there's more to it, so I don't know.
More to it than that? Wow.
She said she could have gone into more detail about the stalking. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's never fun though. So.
No. So yeah. Love the stories. Please continue to share stories with us. I still have a bunch more to choose from too, but like send us your worst first date. That's a great topic. Or if it's just any other date. Like I guess all the stories are typically first date stories, right? Because you're not going to go out with them again. So like tell us your crazy first date stories if something
Or what if
wild
you have a really good
you.
first date and then you have a second date and it's just terrible?
Yeah, I mean that could happen. I don't know how often that happens, but it could. All right, do you want to answer some questions?
I would love to.
Let's do one so we don't make this too long. Okay, let me find my thing. Okay, I have 2 options here. Do you want to do the relationship one or the dating one?
Let's do the dating one.
Okay. When I was in my 20s, I spent she doesn't give me any details. I don't know her age, nothing. When I was in my 20s, I spent several years on and off with a guy who did not treat me well. He cheated on me, would lie to me often. He was a super toxic boyfriend, but we had a crazy connection which kept drawing me back.
So good sex.
Yeah, I guess. I finally broke things off with him and had no communication with him for years. It had been over 10 years since I last talked to him, and I recently saw him at a mutual friend's wedding. He had done a complete 180. He has been through therapy and seems to have really changed, matured, and grown as a person.
No. Is that because you're at a wedding and he told you that? That's what I want to find out.
Yeah. She said the connection was still there. He asked me out and I don't know what to do. It was so hard to end things with him the first time, but I think he might be the love of my life. If he really has changed, do I give him a chance, or was too much damage done in our younger years to forgive and forget? So he cheated on her, lied to her, on and off for years. And it took her a lot to break up with him the first time. So it seems like he could be manipulative.
I mean, it's going to seem like she wants him again, but it's all going to come back. Like, it's a trend. So, but I mean, people can change.
Yeah, obviously, it has been 10 years.
It's been 10 years.
Yeah. They were in their 20s when they first dated.
But they're also at a wedding, so you have, like, fake feelings. Like, everyone feels like, a little bit, with the drinks and stuff.
Yeah, there's, like, romance in the air, and everything's so, like, could be like a rom-com.
He's a changed man. He's gone to therapy. Like I said, like, is it because he said that? Like, hey, how are you? I'm a changed man. So,
right.
I don't know. I mean, that's a tough call, because I would always think about, like, I don't know if I can go out with someone that, like, you know, cheated on me or did
so
something
much
like that.
Bad history with.
Yeah, because you're afraid it's gonna come back again.
Right. Because, like, are you ever gonna really be able to trust him?
Right.
He's this changed man, but you're back together, and he's on his phone, and you're not thinking, who's he texting? What's he?
Yeah.
Like, I've never thought that with you, but we don't have that history.
She wants a quick, then go for it, but
that's also dangerous though, because if she said he could be the love of her life.
Yeah, that's like, messed up.
That's a lot, and I get it because you guys were so young,
and she's all over the place too. So I don't think she's really grounded either.
I think they were really young.
She was thinking, but she's been thinking about him this whole time.
Yeah, I think neither of them were probably that mature when they dated in their 20s. Who is, he definitely wasn't. But 10 years, they're in their 30s. He's still not mature.
Not a lot of guys are mature until later.
No, it's supposed to be like 43 or something. I'm like, that is false because you are 48.
I'm very mature.
Yeah, totally.
Mature. Yeah.
You are in like the places you need to be. But would I say Max is a super mature person? No.
No, super mature. No. But
But you're an adult. You take care of your responsibilities.
I get shit done.
You do. I think there is room for him to have grown and changed in 10 years.
I would stay away.
But I don't know that it's healthy. I don't know that you're ever going to be able to, like, not have that anxiety on you and that stress that you felt the first time around. Too many
scars.
Yeah, I agree. So, I mean, that's probably not the answer you want to hear, but it seems like a bad idea. It seems like it's just going to open you up to being hurt again, probably in a very similar way.
And quickly. He'll hurt you quickly. And if he doesn't, but you still have so much resentment from
all the times it happened before. And if it was that hard to break up with him the first time, doing it again isn't going to be any easier.
She probably was she was mentally done with him, and she probably hadn't thought about him for years. And then the fucker shows up at a wedding and just boom. And that's the problem, because then it's back to
Well, and it's hard if it's like, I don't know how young they were when they were dating, but if it was their first, her first real relationship as an adult, then you get those attachments, especially if it was for years. You get an attachment to that person where you probably romanticize some things more than they actually were. So, I don't know.
You look back and it's like,
probably not a great idea.
Nope.
No. So.
Swipe left.
Swipe left. On the just push him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree.
See, I could have been a therapist.
You could have been.
Tell me how it makes you feel. Does that make you feel uncomfortable?
Does your therapist ask you stuff like that?
No.
No, mine doesn't either. She's never been like, how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
Because I volunteer it. So, should we talk about me winning therapy? I won therapy. My therapist is like, do you still want to have sessions? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not. There's still lots to fix here.
What do you win? Like a stuffed animal, or?
I just won therapy.
Oh.
I won. If it's a game, I won it. My therapist is like, you're healed. I'm not. There's a lot wrong with me. But, like, the issues that I had been dealing with have all pretty much resolved themselves. So, like, now it's just working on everyday stuff. I don't know. Do you feel the same way?
Huh?
Do you feel the same way? Like,
well, yeah, I think the biggest issue in the room was like relationships and am I ever going to find someone? So that's kind of taken care of now, and she's happy for me.
Yeah.
And it's just dealing with the other stuff, I think more like I talked about to her is like I think the stuff that's really affecting me now is about my parents.
Yeah. That's what I'm focused on, because I avoid it every time we talk about it. But like, the reason I started therapy was for grief, and I never talked about grief. I talked about
It's like the TV show we
relationship stuff.
watched.
Yeah. So like, I just avoided it at all costs. And so like, when she's like, do you think we're done and there's like, you don't have anything else to work through? I'm like, no, let's be honest. The reason I came here, we've never really talked about, because I don't know. I avoid it. Like, I don't want to deal with it. So I do, though. Like, I do when I'm being reasonable. But when I'm there, I'm like, let's talk about this instead.
Yeah,
so,
makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
My son in the car said I should be a therapist.
Yeah, I agree.
It's too late to... Like, why is it too late, Dad? Because I have to go to school, and I just know. I don't have any time. I don't know where...
It's never too late. You could do it.
When would I do it? Like...
No, you can't, because then you won't pay as much attention to me.
And I'll psychoanalyze you.
Yeah, I don't need that.
Wait. Wait a second. She did that, and she did that. Holy shit.
Yeah. You're taking notes?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, note taker.
Do you want to do a Max's Sports Corner?
Yeah.
Do you want to do one? All right.
Yeah.
So here's Max's Sports Corner.
Like I predicted, I was right with the Eagles and the Chiefs. I didn't want them, but I knew that was... I knew it. You just keep betting on the Chiefs. But the whole week, everyone's been talking about the officiating. And then, there's someone named Nick Wright. He's a huge Kansas City homer, and he just takes offense to it. And I'm not like a conspiracy theory kind of guy, but like the video is just like, you see the videos over and over, and you're just like, man, something ain't right. And there's a sportscaster in Detroit that, like, he's never into it either, and he was even talking about like it's like WWE with helmets on. And I don't want to believe it. Like, obviously you have to beat the Chiefs, and the Chiefs are like so well coached and fundamentally sound that every mistake they're going to take advantage of it. But man, there was some stuff on Sunday that just was like, it was like a movie.
It's not a conspiracy if there's video proof, right?
So like, you're gonna like, officials are gonna miss calls because there's so much surrounded it. There's social media.
Right.
There's like 50,000 cameras in every angle, so we see better angles on TV than actually at the game. So I get that.
Do they not do replays?
They do replays, but like, they're just overturned. There's gonna be bad calls. People are coming out like, look at the hole. Look at yeah. Like, the big thing for the Chiefs earlier, the last 2 years, is the left tackle always moves early. And I'm just like, after a game, there's 5 or 6 of them. It's like, look into it. But the spot on the ball was just, there was too much going on. It was 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 6. The tight end catches the ball. He clearly puts the ball over the first down marker. But they call it, all right. They call it, no, 4th and 1. So Josh Allen goes. It was close. It's close. But the thing that's frustrating is the official at the top of the screen is right on the 40 and is running down. And the 40 was the first down, so he's fine. The official on the bottom, on the Kansas City side, was like right around the 42. And if you watch him, he's moving up, and then he kind of gets bumped by a Kansas City player, and he kind of goes a little bit to the right before the first down. So I don't know. We have the technology, like we talked about this earlier. Tennis has had this technology for like 10 years. They can tell you when a ball's in or out. They have the technology. It's like they don't want to fix it. And the problem is like, everyone is just using the officiating in every game. They find evidence, and it's fine. Like I said, you're going to miss calls. You're always going to miss calls. There's always going to be blatant holds and stuff. It's like when they decide to call them. But it's like every game, it keeps getting worse and worse. And when announcers are like making comments, and like we even talked about it, at the end of the day, the Bills had the ball with 3 minutes left to go down and could have won the game. They stopped running the ball, which I don't get, but they made the decision. But what's kind of crazy and what's not talked about, and I saw this earlier, is on the 4th and 10 play where Josh Allen rolls out and Kincaid almost catches it, but he drops it. A flag was thrown because the announcing crew said, "Oh, there's a flag thrown," and even the radio crew said there was a flag thrown. So now the conspiracies are saying, "Well, they're going to throw the flag just in case he caught it." And you joke about it, but it's like, why isn't this
But it
not
actually
talked?
happened, yeah.
It actually happened. I don't think it's rigged, but I do think there is some special treatment towards Kansas City. But they also are a good team,
Yeah.
and you don't get to like 3 straight Super Bowl. Like it's fine, games here and there, and it's awful when your team loses because then you see all the calls and it's like, I mean, as a Lion fan, I'm still pissed about the Washington game because
Yeah.
of the blatant like personal foul call that didn't get called, and people were like, well, it's one play, but it would have changed the game. Now it doesn't mean Detroit would have won or lost. No, Detroit wasn't. They played like shit, and they deserved to lose. But this stuff just keeps compounding and compounding. Here's the thing: when it's a Super Bowl and it's the largest state, everyone is going to be looking for every single call. So, regardless of what happens, people are going to be like, "See, it's this or it's that." I mean, Kansas City is a really good team.
Mm-hmm.
They wait for you to make a mistake, and then they just get the ball at the end of the game, and they know what they're going to do. Andy Reid's an amazing coach. The defense is great, but it's like I just like these calls keep coming up over and over. Now I know it's exaggerated, so people are gonna. But this is the thing now. Like everyone's gonna look for every call, and it's unfortunate. It's let's enjoy the Super Bowl. And another thing I don't like all these idiots saying, "Oh, this is gonna be the most boring Super Bowl ever." I'm like, no, this is fucking good, because if you look back, the Eagles actually stopped the Patriots three-peat. Now the Patriots weren't on their way for a three-peat. The Patriots won the year before. Then they played the Eagles and they lost, and they won the next year. So actually, the Eagles stopped the Patriots three-peat, and now they have a chance to stop the Kansas City three-peat. I want the Eagles to win. I think the Eagles, like if you name the top 10 players, I think the Eagles have 7 of the best top 10 players. But the one player that the Chiefs have is Mahomes, and he's going to dictate things. I want the Eagles to win, but as a betting person, like I think you have to put your money in Kansas City till someone beats them.
So what are your thoughts? Because a lot of people are saying they want Kansas to win now because Kansas City to win now because
yay sports.
A three-peat has never happened. Also, I heard on the radio today that three-peat is trademarked.
Yeah, by someone. Pat Riley.
Who's Pat Riley?
Pat Riley was the Lakers head coach.
Okay.
And at the time, he did three-peat.
I thought I knew the name, but I couldn't place it.
Because they won in 87 to 88, but a certain Detroit team beat their ass in 89. They shouldn't have ever gotten there. We got robbed in 88, the phantom foul. So actually the Pistons should have won in 88, 89, and 90, so they should have three-peated, but whatever. So he started that three-peat thing. So yeah,
so they're saying they have to change it and call it, like, they said on the radio, they called it a threesome, which is not what they meant.
I think this is a good matchup because the Eagles are really good defensively, and but the Eagles have one of the best offensive lines, and they love to run the ball, and it's going to be a good game. But unfortunately, I think everyone's going to be looking for a bad call, and now it's just like a witch hunt now. So I mean, things happen, but like the spotting of the ball stuff is that's where it gets shady. And then today I hear that the official that made that call like lives in Kansas City, but is a Raven fan. I mean, of course that stuff comes out, but I don't believe in it, and I don't want to believe in it. But it's just like, I feel like it's a snowball, and it's getting bigger and bigger.
I mean, think there's some merit to what we were talking about earlier, where Taylor Swift, and I know football fans hate the whole Taylor Swift thing, but like she draws viewers. She draws people to turn on the game and watch. Let's be fair. The Super Bowl doesn't have problems getting ratings. So
but the Chiefs and Bills games,
right?
Like, I think it was like 56 or 57 million people watched it.
It was like the highest rated
because people want to see the Chiefs lose. Like, if you're a Kansas City fan, that's fine. But here's the thing about the conspiracy theory. Kansas City is a small market. Like, if the NFL really wanted to push teams, it would be like New York, Chicago, LA.
But
Kansas City is
a small market. draws viewers because people want to see Taylor Swift. And so having
my daughter wants to watch the football because of Taylor Swift.
Right.
Ooh, it's Taylor Swift's boyfriend. And I get that, and that's huge. It's bringing more viewers in.
I mean, she never watches football, and I told her, I'm like, Travis Kelce's playing, and she flipped over and sat right in her beanbag thing and watched the game.
I don't mind the Taylor Swift stuff. I mean, yeah, they like in the beginning they did a lot. They don't do it as much, but so many people get so angry with it. I'm like, well, I'd rather see Taylor Swift than someone else, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a good game, but I feel that it's just like I feel like something bad's going to happen, and I hope they don't are afraid to call a penalty and stuff. Like, penalties are going to happen. There are going to be so many missed calls, but I think people are just kind of fed up with it because from the game against Houston, they were not going to lose that game, but there were like 3 or 4 personal foul calls, and it's just like it is, and it's like I understand they're trying to protect the quarterback, and Brady had the same thing, like a rule. A rule was created for Brady because he blew out his knee. Like, you can't go low. They did the same thing for the Patriots, but I just feel like there's so much more now. Like, social media is so much heavy presence now. Like, when the Patriots were winning, it was just starting. So I think that's where you have it, and you can just have one person tweet something with a football, and it just kind of gets out of hand. So
I think
it's overdone.
Yeah. Do you think the NFL actually, I know they care about ratings, but everybody watches.
They're gonna get ratings. They're gonna get ratings, whatever. It doesn't matter what.
Were there
Super Bowl.
lower ratings? I don't remember who was playing, but there's a Super Bowl a couple years ago, before it was Kansas City every year, that was really, really boring. It was a low scoring game. Nothing was happening.
A lot of
nobody cared about the teams.
The Super Bowls usually aren't really exciting. It's usually not the best. That's why everyone was saying but we
all still watched, so does it matter?
No, they're gonna get ratings and they're gonna make money, so it doesn't matter. The spot thing was really weird. Dave Portnoy on Barstool was just going ballistic, but he hates Roger Goodell. Him and Roger Goodell don't like each other. He got kicked out. No, that's the commissioner of the NFL. Dave Portnoy was a huge Brady fan, and he actually was not allowed to be in a Super Bowl, and he went in disguise and got kicked out by security. It was pretty funny. But yeah, if you go on check out Dave Portnoy's rant during the game, it's great, and he has a point. Like, the third down play, he clearly got the first down. So I also think I have this thing with officiating, especially NFL. It's so tough to do, and what do you see a lot of? They're older men. Not being mean, but they're older, so
right.
Let's get some young referees in there.
Because this is also a subject I heard.
Make them full time.
Right. This is a subject I heard on the radio. Have you ever heard anyone say, "My dream is to be a ref"?
Right.
How do you even get into that?
But in college, it's so bad. It's like they're a lawyer all week, and then they fly on the weekend, do a college game, and come back, and there's no training. There's no. I know the NFL.
That's crazy.
They have some full-time officials.
Yeah.
But it's you just create an academy where you promote hey, you can be an NFL official, and that's all you do is you watch film, and you just get better, and you do it, and at least have some sense. And I feel more plays need to be reviewable, and they got to come up with a better idea. They have a good idea now with under 2 minutes they do it, but it's just and sometimes they obviously miss a call, and it's well, why can't you replay that? Oh, you can't replay this, but you can replay that. And it's such a witch hunt right now that I think it's not going to end well. And then if and then the Kansas City fan, I think what Kansas City does is it's just people are sick of them. They always seem to have the good luck. Every all the stuff that happened, and that's what people were talking about. What's the difference between the Bills and the Chiefs? Well, the Chiefs players make those plays. The Bills player, didn't catch the ball at the end. The Chiefs would have done it, and they put themselves in position to do it. But it's how much more fucking luck can you get? Me as a Lion fan, I'm Jesus, I just want a couple breaks here and there. And you just can't get them, and I think that's where other fans are just sick of it because Bear fans are saying what the fuck, and so that's where I think it is, but I think it's gonna be a good Super Bowl. I really do.
What was interesting?
Saquon Barkley is gonna prove a point. Everyone says, all the Chiefs fans we're gonna stop them. They're not gonna be able to run on us, but
So this is the last episode to air before the Super Bowl because this is going to come out on Tuesday, or we're going to record sometime next week, but it's not going to come out until after the Super Bowl. So this is your chance to make your predictions.
I want the Eagles to win.
You wanted
right.
What
I
you want
the Eagles to win.
Is one thing.
I think like until Kansas City, like until you see them, like they haven't lost in 3 years in the playoffs. Until you see it, just keep going. Now, 1.5. That's kind of like that. That's too close. But if it gets up to like 2 or 3, I'll jump on it. I think Kansas City's going to win. I don't want them to win.
What are you betting?
I'll probably bet a couple props. Like one of the ones I like is Jalen Carter for MVP. He's a defensive tackle, and he is going to wreak havoc on the Chiefs. The Chiefs right now, if they don't maneuver their offensive line, he's just going to wreck them. The Eagles are really good, but I'm also afraid of like maybe the moment might be too big. I mean, some of these players were here at the Super Bowl 2 years ago, but it's a Super Bowl. It's a big deal. So, but one thing that doesn't get talked about enough is like the Phillies' offensive line is nasty, like so good, and when they're running with Saquon Barkley, and they even have receivers that can like win one-on-one matchups. So, I mean, Philly has it. This is the type of team that can beat Kansas City. But can they? Are you going to make and it comes down to turnovers every fucking game in the playoffs. The team with the less turnovers is going to win the game. So
what's your call?
My heart says Philly's going to win, but my brain says bet on Kansas City.
So where are you going to put your money?
I'm going to put on Kansas City.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to split it because there's some things I like and some like first quarter and stuff. So yeah. But until someone beats them.
Yeah, it's fair.
So it's sad though. Yeah, I just want them to lose because the three-peat they're gonna say, "Oh, Tom Brady never did this," and this is where it is. It's like I'm a huge Brady fan, so it's like yeah, Tom Brady never did it, but Tom Brady. Like go look at Tom Brady's Super Bowl numbers.
I mean is there a reason that this hasn't happened yet? It's a really hard thing to accomplish, right?
It's football. It's attrition. It's like you just you can't put it together that well for 3 years.
Yeah.
But
they have?
The last 2 Super Bowls were very close. They could have lost easily. Last year, San Francisco had them. And this is where we talk about when I talk about players and coaches, right? You can have the greatest coach. Kyle Shanahan they call him a genius offensively, but he hasn't won it. He had a play in overtime that was a perfect play. Everything was set. The guy was going to be wide open. But the problem was one of the left tackle or the left guard didn't block Chris Jones. Chris Jones got around him, pressured the quarterback, and he had to throw it away. It was a perfect play. It was like it was called to perfection. It was going to be a touchdown, and that's where I tell people you can love coaches so much, but it's the players on the field. At the end of the day, players make plays, coaches don't, and that's why I would warn the Bear fans because I've been hearing some crazy shit this week. I understand you're having a great coaching staff put together. That's great. But the players that have been playing for the Bears the last couple of years, they haven't won more than like 7 games. So kind of ease up. It's a good coaching hire, but players play on the field, and that's another reason the Lions, everyone's writing the Lions off next year, and I'm like, majority of that Lions team is coming back, and they're going to be healthy, and they're going to go get the players they need to play. So people are going to sleep on the Lions, and I'll be like, just do it because we're going to come back with that same fucking offense that was number 1 in the league.
Yeah,
and I understand Ben Johnson had a lot to do with it. But no one knew who Ben Johnson was until he came to Detroit, right? Ben Johnson was like a tight ends coach. Dan Campbell's like, screw it. I fired the offensive coordinator like 3 years ago. Let's bring in him. But Ben Johnson also got to play with a lot of good players. So don't, this whole like everyone falls in love with coaches, and coaches are good, but it's the players that play.
Right.
Just look at when Tom Brady left New England. He won a Super Bowl, and Bill Belichick couldn't get out of his way. So I'm just saying. So that's my rant.
I love your passion.
Yeah, and it's the last football game, so I want to be so sad.
Oh, but then it's just a few months until summer, Max. What do you like? I was with you last year, but like, what do you do in the spring? Because you're not really that into baseball or basketball.
It's golf. You got the Masters.
Well, and you got your golf shoes, so you can wear those while you watch. Yeah.
My Jordans.
Yeah.
No, I mean I think the weather's nice, so it's like, oh hey, there's some golf. I mean, you watch baseball like the first month because it's new, it's nice, and then by summer you're just kind of like there's baseball on and stuff. Then the season's starting to get like talked about, so they start talking about college football a little bit, and then the pros start going to training camp around July. So then that's all like football, and then August you're watching useless preseason games, but it's just like so exciting, and then right when Labor Day starts, it's college football and pro football, and it's boom. And then you're excited. You're excited. Oh, the summer's over. It sucks, but the fall's football, and that's why I love like the fall, like the
I don't
weather,
know.
everything.
I think Summer Max is still my favorite of all the versions of you.
Because the kids are also out of school, so I have a lot more time.
You're just like overall more like.
I mean, come on, the sun's out.
Yeah,
you can go
you're a different
out,
person.
Like, you can come home after work and I can take a walk.
I get far more attention during from Summer Max than I do from Football Max.
Yeah, Winter Max is just kind of like, but it's nice having you around though, so I'm not.
Oh, thanks.
As like,
Yeah.
But
aw,
it's still like the fucking winter. It's I think every year it gets worse and worse.
Yeah,
it's just.
We live in Chicago, so I know. It's one of the worst winters in the country. It's where we choose to live.
And don't forget, for you wrestling fans, the Royal Rumble is this Saturday. There's always fun things and stuff.
So please be sure to follow us on everything. Wherever you listen to podcasts, we're most likely there. If we're not on whatever you listen to podcasts on, let me know. I'll get us on there. I hit all the major ones, but if there's a favorite podcasting app that you love and where you can't find us on there, shoot me a message. I'll see what I can do. But you can find us on social media. You can find us on Instagram at NoDPicsPod. Everywhere else at No Dick Pics Podcast. Please be sure to follow. Our reels are pretty funny. We're on TikTok as long as TikTok's still around. That's No Dick Pics Podcast. Or No Dick Pics Pod. No Dick Pics Pod on TikTok. Yeah. So please be sure to follow us. Please be sure to rate, give us 5 stars, and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. Subscribe if you're if you're listening to us on anything. Hit that follow button or subscribe or whatever it is on the app that you're on. So thank you all for joining us. We'll be back.
And Dave Fortney, or if you're listening, we would love to work for Barstool.
Yeah. Call us.
My trainer said that today. Because I told him, I'm like, yeah, not a lot of people follow us. That's fine. We're have fun doing this. And he's like, but sometimes that's the people that are just doing it to have fun. It turns into something else. Right. I'm like, I would love for this to turn into something big. And he's like,
would too.
And then he made a comment like, well, yeah, with Portnoy out there with Barstool. I was like, oh my God, that would be a dream.
I think we'd fit in well, especially since now we have Sports Corner.
Yeah, he's so funny. I love him.
And we don't expect to make money off of this. Like, for anyone thinking about starting a podcast, if you're doing it because you want to make money, this is the wrong hobby to take on.
Yeah,
you're just going to spend money.
I enjoy
We do it because we like it. So it's a lot of work. We like doing it.
Like me.
Like validate me.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll be back next Tuesday.
Peace.
Bye.